Episode of Bush Electronics. My name's Steve and this is Tim. We're actually up in the beautiful Jarramali, which is in northern Queensland, west of Cairns. And I thought, because Tim asked me, I thought I would show you something that's one of the first questions people ask about electronics. So how do you use one of these? Now this is a digital multimeter. Some people call it a DMM, digital multimeter. And it's a way of measuring voltage, current and resistance. But most people use it to measure voltage, and this is a classic case here, is we need to measure the voltage on this battery to see is it good or not. So you're gonna, this is a Fluke 12 multimeter, so you've got off, V with the little arrow like that, that's AC, V with the straight line, that's DC. So generally you're going to be doing voltage with DC, and you're going to measure between 2 points voltage, between your plus and your minus. And you'll see when we're measuring voltage, we've got it plugged into this one here. Can you see it's got V? And COM, that's ground. So red is the live, black is the ground. Now, if you're going to measure current, which some people do, you have to flick around and change this around a little bit. You're not going to use V, you're going to go to the A one, and your probes, instead of going across the battery, you're going to go in the circuit, because you've got to measure current flow going through the meter. And also, if you want to measure small voltages, you'll use this milliamp one. Not all meters have that. You'll see on the bottom here it says 10 amp fused and 40 milliamp fused. If you use the A1 and you put more than 10 amps through that, it's going to blow the fuse in your meter, and you've got to change it. But fuses are awesome. They're there for a reason, so I like that. I'd rather not the thing blow up and catch fire, right? For the milliamp one, for this one is a 400 milliamp fuse. But as I said before, most times you're going to do voltage. The other thing that's good on a multimeter is you get this one. You see this, is that gamma symbol, Tim? Do you know your Greek alphabet?
Omega,
I think that's the omega, the omega symbol. That's for resistance. And that's where we're going to measure. Usually that's in a circuit that's off. You've not got any electricity flowing through. That's how we measure the resistance of things. And a lot of good multimeters have this option where you can, it's usually got like a little audio, a little symbol, looks like a speaker. That's a continuity test. And that's like one of the most useful things. If you want to measure your wiring and see, have I properly connected and lift something up, you do a continuity test. But if you haven't got a continuity test, you can just do resistance. And if you've got continuity, your resistance is going to go to pretty much zero. That's like zero resistance. So I think I've covered everything there. There are lots of other modes on this meter. This is a kind of posh one. Flukes are really good. I'd highly recommend them, but they're not for everyone. I've got a little one in there. It's just a Dick Smith's one. That's like $20–30. It's fine for most people. What you'll find though, if you don't use them very often, and you leave the batteries in them, the batteries will leak and you'll ruin your meter. So if you're not going to use your meter a lot, take the batteries out. I use mine quite a lot, so this is okay. And the batteries last ages. And that's kind of the problem. People will leave the batteries in because they last ages, and then when they go do it, they go, it doesn't work, and they open it up and it's like a horrible mess of acid inside. So we'll quickly just measure the voltage there. So you want to hold that, Tim? And we've got a battery here. This is the secondary battery on this ute, and we're just going to measure what the battery voltage is. So you're going to put the black one on the negative terminal, put it on there, just hold it on. Now the thing about multimeters, remember, if you're measuring voltage, it's not dangerous. They're really low impedance, so you're not going to get shock or anything. This thing's really, really high impedance, so no current's going to flow here. So as long as you don't do anything stupid and touch things, short things, it's quite safe to do that. So that's showing, what's that showing, Tim?
Looking at,
hang on, not holding it on very well, hang on.
About 7
volts. Yeah, so that battery's cactus.
Yeah.
You might be, some batteries you can revive them, but that's probably dead. And it's probably, unfortunately, for the bin, which is really sad because we like to recycle and reuse things. Now, Andrew, is it Andrew? Yeah. Andrew's got a new battery here.
Hello, Andrew.
We're going to put this battery on.
Thanks, Andrew.
Before we do it, let's test the battery on this one and see how good that one is. What's that saying on there, Tim?
Perfect. 12.7.
12.7.
Really?
So the 12-watt battery, well, if it's saying 12, that's not great. You want it to be kind of a bit more than 12. If it's showing 11 or something, you might be all good, but if it's showing 7, no good. But batteries are generally, if they're good, are around sort of 12 to 13 volts. That's a digital multimeter. I hope that explains it. And thanks for your time. Bye from Jarramali.
Yeah.